Who is this? Frog's Master. Wait a minute, what was that guy named again? Frog's Master. Is this actually the one and only and true Frog's Master? It is I, Frog's Master. Hello everyone, it's Frog's Master. It's time to open up this again. You. We want you today. Gonna put you right down there. And, we'll leave that open. Okay. So, remember that how frogs came into my life video? Well, I mentioned this guy, but I didn't have him. I only brought him up. Well, now, here he is. Obviously, that frog that I was talking about in that Frogs Came Into My Life video, this was that frog. Of course. Sings Ain't Too Proud to Beg, moves its head, the side-to-side up and down mechanism, dandy item. I didn't mention that it was dandy in that video. This is the same company that did that Achy Breaky Heart frog. Yeah. This was the very first one. Number one. Absolutely nothing before it. No way, no how would have remembered. And even when comparing this to the Achy Breaky Heart one and the On the Road Again, in terms of how much I can remember of them, they're all kind of the same. On the Road Again isn't significantly more than the two before. They're all about the same, actually, which that says something. This was the very first one, so I would be able to remember it a good amount, you would think, although I guess if it had been too early into my life, then I wouldn't. But I got this when I was 3. I'm not 100% sure, but it couldn't have been 2. Because, I don't think this was something that was out in 2005. I think this was a 2006 thing. Because On the Road Again was definitely when I was 3. And Achy Breaky Heart, yeah. Because Achy Breaky Heart did not come too far after this. Same thing for On the Road Again. At least it didn't feel that way. Anyways, I know I kind of mentioned this in that video from, those years ago, which has now been over 4 years. That video is 4 years old now. Wow. Well, we can bring it up again, especially since there's a lot of more people now. And there's something else I want to bring up with this. And this is only going to be on him. I'm not getting into those other two right now. So, you probably know this out of all things. The most you can probably remember why this had been gotten. And that was not because I was showing an interest for these in a store or anything like that, because my very first memory of anything that moved at all was this. Even like baby toys. No, this is the first. Even On the Road Again. I remember that before other toddler toys, whatever, So that's an interesting thing to think about. Dandy, right there. Of course, I didn't know anything with companies back then. I don't think anybody would, because that would be a little weird if they knew all that stuff, or were thinking about that stuff when they're 4 or 3. So, of course, I didn't. But this was gotten for a very different reason. And I think for most people's first animatronic thing like this, which of course would have been gotten for them by their parents or, a guardian of some sort, it would have been because they were interested in these things, pretty much. Most likely. Maybe there was a little bit of a different reason. Of course, there's just the reason because, oh, toy for kids. But this one is actually not any of those reasons. And this I know 100%. This guy was gotten because my dad did this song, Ain't Too Proud to Beg. He played the song, and he did it a lot. So that is the only reason why this happened. Why it showed up in that house for me. And I think I was trying to say in that older video that this wasn't supposed to be for me. Pretty sure this was for me. There wouldn't really be a reason as to why it wouldn't. I mean, this was definitely in an aisle with a bunch of other things that sang and danced. Not like this would have been for my dad. No, it was for me. But this wasn't like my first toy or anything. It couldn't have been. No, definitely not. I can't remember anything before this, though. This is basically my first memory. Yeah, pretty sure you're supposed to remember other things before stuff like this, but it's just not the case here. So, it had nothing to do with me being interested in this stuff. And that goes basically up till the frogs started coming around. Because it's not like when I first saw this that I was like into it that much, because I know I wasn't, but more came. I mean, I think before the frogs, Achy Breaky Heart, it's not for a reason that you would think. It's not because I saw it and was interested. You'll see why with that. Although you'll probably be able to predict it when I state the other thing with this guy. And I did state this in the video from 4 years ago, but I've got something else to say about it. So, I did like this. I know, because I would have remembered it more if I did, wasn't really too into it. I mean, I couldn't even remember how it danced, really, so that kind of shows. I could remember it, I could remember how the song went, and I could actually remember that lit up, and it does. I was right. I remembered how it looked, and even like the hands here, how they're darker. The feet, I could remember that. The size, I basically got that right. Everything, honestly. Well, I thought all of this skin up here would actually be a lot darker, but it could have been in a different lighting where it didn't look that way. Although that house was always very bright. You know which house, of course, I'm talking about. So I think I just got that part wrong. Like I said, I didn't know the company or anything, of course. Even with all that said, I know I wasn't into it, really. Nothing like the frogs. I think that's something that both my parents would have been able to say. But I don't think they probably remember this too much anyway. Because the frogs just obviously just covered up anything with this and Achy Breaky Heart. Because, the obvious reason, the number of them that just ended up being in that house. Well, I said I wasn't into it too much. And the thing that basically confirms that is, well, guess what? Some of you know what it is. I was just looking at it one day. You know, maybe I played it. Not sure. I was definitely looking at it, though. I had a reason for looking at it. And, well, I went up to my mom, and I just said, can I throw it out? Now, why did I say that? I have an answer now. It's not just I don't know. That's basically what I said in the older video. And I actually knew in that video. I didn't state it, though. Thought it'd be kind of weird, but I'm stating it, okay? This is a very weird answer, and this is going to be very hard to comprehend. I wanted to throw this out just to see how I would react afterwards. Yeah, that's weird, isn't it? I wanted to see what my reaction would be. Trust me, that I remember. I knew that in my head when I was asking my mom if it could be thrown out. And I don't know exactly what she had said, but I remember that she wasn't expecting that to come out of my mouth. Not at all. I knew it threw her off quite a bit. And I'm sure a reason for that also probably would have been, I don't really want to throw this out. I mean, the song and everything, I feel like she probably didn't want to. Because, you know, with my dad doing the song and all that, it makes sense. But she did. Maybe I even said something else. Maybe I even said to her I wanted to see how I would react. I don't know. That would be really weird. I can't remember if I said anything else, though. I just remember that I asked if it could be thrown out. And it wasn't broken or anything. You know, surprisingly, I don't think I messed with this that much. I don't know. You know about the frogs. I don't even need to get into that. But I don't think I messed with this. I don't remember it, you know, getting damaged or anything. Or I definitely don't remember it losing its clothes or its rose or anything like that. Or the hat. Maybe it lost the hat, actually. But I feel like I would remember that, maybe. I got a couple memories with it. I don't exactly remember if I remember the first day that I had gotten it. I think I just remembered a day with it. I don't think I remember me actually getting it or anything. But there's just that memory and then the memory of me wanting to throw it out for some reason. And the reason probably just being because I wanted to see how I would react. A very weird reason. And after it had gone thrown out, I never thought about it again after that. I do know that my reaction to it being thrown out, yeah, I had regretted it. That I can remember all the way back then. Although I didn't say anything. Why I didn't, I don't know. I mean, I had then gotten that Achy Breaky Heart one, so after that I probably just forgot about it, probably. Especially once all the frogs started coming in. Then this probably just became a closed memory that I didn't remember again until, I don't know, maybe when I was like 8 or 9. That's probably when I would have remembered this again. Because I'm pretty sure there was a while where I couldn't remember this thing. But definitely once we moved into the second house in Missouri, I knew that I had remembered this again. Although I hadn't seen any other video of it. I don't think there's even another video of this right now. I think it's just my video. But I'm not 100% for sure on that. I'm pretty sure I've only seen the video that I made of this. But I don't think this is rare. Like, there's definitely some online right now, I think. But that's really it with this. There's some weird stuff with it in me, but I guess it's not anything scary like what's a lot of those frogs faced. But it's still interesting. It's just a very weird kind of interesting. Alright. More will come with this. Maybe. Well, that's definitely it for this. There's nothing else to say with this, but we'll see what I do. You'll see. Okay, peace.